Absolutely. This is my last bold prediction of today's show. So I tried to save the best for last for you guys. And this is one of those other guys. I mentioned it with Daniel Jones. If I leave a draft without this guy, I am so upset at myself because the take will speak for itself. Let me just say it. Tyler Higbee finishes as the tight end one in 2020.
Whoa!
The tight end one will be Tyler Higbee.
That's silly.
And I know what you're probably thinking. You're sitting there, you're telling yourself, but Alex, Travis Kelce's been the tight end one for 4 straight years, and he has Patrick Mahomes. Look, Kelce's great. This is not taking away from Kelce at all. This is just the full-on, full steam ahead Tyler Higbee hype train.
You're going to have to make an incredible case here.
We are going full blast. Like, the train's coming. You're either going to get hit or you got to get off the tracks with Tyler Higbee. So here's my case for Higbee. We know what happened last season. He burst onto the scene out of nowhere. But look, Tyler Higbee, one, people aren't giving him enough credit for just being a good player. He's got a very athletic build. I think he's like 6'6", 250. He actually started his career as a wide receiver, but he quickly outgrew that given the fact he's freaking 6'6", 250. So he shifted to tight end, and he consistently has created – I was reading through some of his actual scouting reports when he was coming out of Western Kentucky, and time again it says he's got a good athletic profile, above average speed, above average agility. He's really good at creating separation. He's a nightmare for linebackers. And now at 27 years old, after a couple of years in the league, he finally got to show that last season. So listen to this. 12 personnel is 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. The Rams in weeks 1 through 12 only ran 12 personnel on 14% of snaps. From weeks 13 through 17, that jumped up to 34% of snaps. That is the window we saw Higbee break out. So something dramatically changed in this offense, and Sean McVay said, look, I'm going to try something a little bit different. And he tried it, and it worked, and he came back to it again and again and again. And we look at what they did this offseason, and they trade Brandon Cooks. I know they drafted Van Jefferson, but they trade Brandon Cooks. So this tells me, like, all these 3 wide receiver sets, all this, the Rams are going to have 3 top 24 wide receivers. Those days are over, and that has shifted to a focus on the tight end position. Let me tell you some splits for Tyler Higbee. He only played 15 games last year. I'm going to read his first 10 games versus last 5 games for several different things. First is the snap percentages. In the first 10 games, he only exceeded 60% of snaps 3 times. In the last 5 games, he played at least 86% of snaps in each and every game. Those were those 12 personnel-heavy games. He was on the field a ton. Target-wise, in the first 10 games, 3.3 targets a game. Nasty. In the last 5 games, 11.2 targets per game over a 5-game stretch. So they were featuring him in this offense. I loved it. And then from a fantasy scoring perspective, this is PPR. Through the first 10 games, he was tight end 35 with a staggering 5.3 points per game. Over the last 5 games, he was a tight end 1. 21.4 points per game over the last 5 weeks of the season. He was 4.6 points per game higher than Travis Kelce or George Kittle over that stretch. 4.6 points per game higher than either of those guys over those last 5 games. And over that stretch, he would have been the wide receiver 2, only behind Michael Thomas. So, no, I'm not saying Tyler Higbee's going to come out and be, 21 points a game in 2020, but he doesn't even have to get close to that. If he gets 75% of the way there, he's going to be the tight end 1. The Rams last season had the 3rd highest number of targets to the tight end position, and that was after only really featuring the position in the last 5 games. There's 121 vacated targets between Brandon Cooks and Todd Gurley. I know some of those Gurley targets are going to go to the running back Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, but all the targets from Brandon Cooks are not going to Van Jefferson. They're not going to Josh Reynolds. They are going to Tyler Higbee, and he will be the number 1 tight end in fantasy. I'm grabbing him everywhere, and no one can stop me except Stef or any of you guys in my league that are listening to this. Please do not take him in front of me in drafts.
Well, I don't think I will. You have him right now in your projections at the tight end 5. I have him at the tight end 7, so it looks like you'll be grabbing him a little bit ahead of me. But, man, you blew my mind with that target number. I mean, 11 targets a game is like Michael Thomas level when we're looking at it that way. So Now, you actually changed my perception there on Higbee a little bit. We'll see if that 12 personnel really is the way that the Rams are going to go
Who
this
knows how
season.
McVay is going to come out? Like, if it here's the thing, the risk reward on Higbee is so good because look, if McVay comes out and they kind of shift back to the old model of their offense, I think Higbee does have standalone value at the tight end position. You can put him in there. He
Sure.
might not be one of those elite guys, but he's going to be startable. But if they come out with that same blueprint of 12 personnel, you have literally potentially just won your league because you now have a guy in the Travis Kelce, George Kittle caliber that you got super late in drafts.
That's true. And right now he's going overall at the 74 spot in drafts. You're talking 7th, 8th, around there. I believe in our mock we ran, we got him in the 8th. And I just saw this as well. They have Gronk over Higbee at the tight end 7, which give me Higbee over Gronk all day.
Thank you.
Just looking at that, just wanted to throw that out there. But no, I know Tyler Higbee is a my guy. I'm sure you're going to continue to hype him up as we go into the season. And it's certainly for good reason.